Hey, everybody, you know what time it is. It is time to Star Trek and chill. Finally, because that means it's Friday, and that means you've got it all behind you. All whatever you did, even if it was fun, get it behind you. It's time to just relax and chill and talk about Star Trek. We're going to be talking about Voyager, probably. Who knows? We're going to talk about Strange New Worlds. We're going to be talking about Star Trek spinoffs and all kinds of cool stuff like that. I would love if we have time to talk about Babylon 5 as well, because everybody's like, well, what about Babylon 5? I don't know. But luckily, we have Charlene Schmidt here to tell us anything about Babylon 5 that we may want to know.
I can certainly try. Yes. Thank you so much for having me back. It's always a blast being with you.
Thank you so much for joining us. We love having you, and everybody tunes in for you. That's our secret weapon. We usually get like 4 viewers otherwise. If you just heard someone say yes and nodding vehemently, that is resident doctor, Dr. Anne-Marie Siegel, all the way out from Manhattan or something like that.
Hi. Yeah, Manhattan.
East Coast and West Coast. Here we go.
My name is Ryan T. Husk. I'm wearing a Guns N' Roses shirt today, so
lovely.
Nice.
You know.
That's very LA.
So you know.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's see who is here today, and then we're going to get into beverages, because I have not opened my beverage yet. I saw you sneaking a sippy of yours though, Shar. So we're gonna.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to take a little bit off the top in case, if I were
just
to have some
making sure
massive.
It's okay.
I don't want it to spill. That's all. Right.
Okay, that's true. That's a good point. Not live. So, okay. So everybody is saying hi to you specifically, Shar, apparently. So.
Oh, hello, everybody. How you doing? I'm just about to go look in the chat. I'm getting there.
Yeah. So Anne-Marie is in the live chat. What a relief. Chuck A. Hello, Chuck A. Rose M. Kirby, all the way from the UK. Rose, please tell us where in the UK you are, because I believe it's like maybe northeast somewhere, northeast England. Peter H is saying hello.
Peter
Happy
H,
Friday.
Virtual TrekCon badge extraordinaire.
That's the one. We've got NRAM. That kind of reminds me of Ram Man from He-Man. Remember that? DJ Kitty Cat, David Gregory finally has returned.
Really
Scott
fast about
Jensen,
David
the 13th.
Gregory?
Scott Jensen, stay tuned. We have something to tell you.
Sorry.
Yes, Anne-Marie, go ahead.
I just heard David Gregory get a shout out on the new Sci-Fi Sisters episode. So make sure to check that out.
Lucky.
I'm sure he's already heard it. But yes, it was pretty amazing. They covered the Strange New Worlds after party. It's an amazing episode if you haven't already heard.
I am all about that.
Mm-hmm. All right. So beverage time. It's time for the beverage.
And hi, Scott Jensen. Okay, now I'm done.
That's what I was saying. I was talking about Scott Jensen, and you didn't hear because
I got so excited.
Scott Jensen, hello. But we have something to say to you in just a minute. But before we say that, Shar, what red beverage in red cup are you drinking today? Party
it's kind
animal.
Of pinkish, actually. It's vodka with cherry 7-Up, an old favorite.
Oh, that's delicious.
Interesting.
Easy to throw together, tasty, and you drink enough of it, it'll get you drunk.
It's like a Shirley Temple spiked, right? Kind of.
More or less. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just no maraschino cherries. Just 7-Up cherries.
Refreshing.
It's delicious.
Dr. Anne-Marie Siegel, what are you drinking today?
Oh my gosh. Black cherry knockoff White Claw from the grocery store downstairs.
Knockoff?
Right.
Yeah, it's not like officially White Claw brand, but yeah.
Wow,
it's a White Claw knockoff? Is that it?
Yeah, some sort of brand that had extra black cherry in their box, and I love black cherry and watermelon. So.
It's like a white cuticle.
Cuticle.
Yeah, it's a cute tickle. So everybody at home, tell us what you are drinking, please, because we are dying to know. I'll tell you what I'm drinking today, and this is where Scott Jensen comes in. My second liquid death, everybody. It's really red, but you can't, or it's green.
What is
this?
It's lime flavored. When I bought my first one, I actually bought 2. And I didn't open this one. I was like, this is going to be my reward from when these Voyager documentary away missions are over, because they were so much work and they were a grueling good time, that is. And I was like, I'm going to reward myself with this second one. So Scott Jensen, this one is for you.
Aren't they just like
it's
plain
for me,
water in a can?
Yeah, what is that drink?
It's a can of fucking delicious, honestly. It's like,
is it caffeinated, alcoholic?
No, it's just like a, soda water stuff. What is that kind of stuff called?
Okay.
Like a LaCroix, but
Carbonated. Oh, okay.
yeah,
Okay.
but for some
Sparkling
reason
water.
it tastes like
But punk.
non-alcoholic beer in a way. Like it really, you got to get it. It's got like this extra flavor that's more than just sparkling water. It tastes like it tastes like you're drinking a beer kind of, but non-alcoholic. So refreshing.
Interesting. I mean, for the name alone, it's worth a get. So
that's why I almost got it months ago, but then it was like $2.50 for kind of like, grow up, guys. Come on.
That is a lot, but it is a big can. So that's how they get you. Speaking of the Voyager documentary stuff, I saw photos from what you were all doing at Vasquez Rocks and various locations. How fun was that? Besides grueling.
Well, and oh, by the way, everybody at home, Larry Nemechek should be joining us a little later. He was part of the Voyager documentary stuff as well. So he'll give us even more information on that. In a word, it was fun. In 2 words, it was very fun. But, it was a good time. Honestly, we went to so many places and we did so many things. And it was like this super jam-packed 7 days. Some people did everything. Other people came and went for 1 or 2 of the days. Larry was a part of a few of them, but it was great. It was a lot of fun. I wish you guys would have joined, because then you would know, and it would have been even more fun if you were there. But
well, I didn't get an invite. I did support the documentary, but not for any of those perks, I'm afraid.
Same.
Well, that's pretty awesome still. So we'll talk a little bit more about that in just a moment. Let's see what everybody's drinking. Shiva the Destroyer is drinking Ractigino.
You stole my favorite one.
Not sure if I believe that, though. NRAM is drinking regular coffee, but would prefer Vulcan Mocha Extra Sweet. Kimber Spores is drinking water and pickle juice, parenthetically not together.
Oh, a dirty water.
Oh, okay. Some people really like that.
I like pickle juice too, though.
Sometimes, yeah, it's all right.
It's weird, right?
Like a little shot of it, just it's an injection of salt straight into your stomach.
Yeah, it's weird how good it is.
Right? It shouldn't be. It's kind of like the dill pickled potato chips and stuff. Like maybe they'd be all right, but no, they're amazing. If you love them, you'll love them.
And Donnie Pearson is drinking water. Scott Jensen says delicious severed lime. I believe that's my flavor of beverage. David Gregory says non-alcoholic love, and so on and so forth. Okay, you guys, speaking of Ram Man with NRAM, just real quick, I don't like mayonnaise. I don't like mayonnaise, but my friend Ben that I lived across the street from growing up, we were good friends, and we would always play with our He-Man toys together and hang out and fight and play toys and stuff. And one time Ram Man was like a He-Man toy with like the legs that would go inside the body, and then you'd like push a button and then it would expand and he would jump, because he would boing. So one time he stuck the legs in a jar of mayonnaise, and the legs were like ribbed,
Oh boy.
And so and then he stuffed them back up in there, and it was like summer, and I already hated mayonnaise, but that just made it
gross.
So much
this thing ever.
So much worse.
Yikes.
Anyway, that's what I thought of when I saw.
That's such a tragic story.
Yeah,
it is.
But I didn't like that toy anyway. So look, okay. I'm going to show you guys what Ram Man looked like.
Okay, yeah, I want to know.
Yeah. And anyway, so he dipped these legs in the mayonnaise, and the leg
looks like outfit.
Oh man.
I didn't even think about that. Look, he's got a little breastplate.
Oh my gosh, he's so Chris.
So
my
his
gosh.
legs, his entire legs went up
Right.
into his body, but he's got a skull, so it's tough.
This
See, a
is the
skull
least
belt.
glamour. This is the least flattering outfit I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, well, you haven't seen him. Oh, yeah. And so this is what he looked like.
It
Oh,
doesn't
wait,
even
no.
look cool.
Yeah.
And
So
the
anyway,
little
this is what it
stumpy
looked like
axe.
when, his legs went up inside of him. Anyway.
Okay, interesting.
So anyway, that was,
Oh my God, what possessed you to buy this?
I didn't. That was not my guy. I was not the biggest Ram Man fan. That was not my guy.
Ram Man. It's amazing.
I'm not even going to
That
explore
sounds
that any
dirty.
further. Ram Man, his legs go up in there.
Please
Dip them in
stop.
mayonnaise.
With his ribbed legs. Please stop.
His legs are ribbed
Ripped for her pleasure.
for anybody's.
Oh my
Really.
gosh.
We're how many minutes
Okay.
into this and it's going off the rails?
Oh, this is Star Trek and
Oh,
Chill.
yeah.
Whoops.
Oh yeah. Oops. Okay. Hi everybody. Let's start the show.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. We just giving everybody time to file in slowly.
Timber Spores and Portia are here.
Hey, Kimber. Hey, Portia. Hey, One Trek fan. Good to
Lisa.
see you. Brad D Mag. Good to see you. Okay, everybody, let's get caught up on stuff because I'm thinking about mayonnaise and I need to get my mind off this.
change
My brother
subject.
used to make
Oh,
slather
stop.
on so much
Let's
mayonnaise.
not
It's
talk about
disgusting.
this anymore.
Yeah, never.
Right. Shar, you were on
Yes.
Mission Log this week, weren't you?
Yeah, on Monday.
That is
That's
like one
fun.
of the
Mission Log
biggest,
Live.
coolest shows of all time. Can you please tell us how that went? Because I think that's
It
amazing.
was the second time I've been a guest host on Mission Log Live, and this time was an absolute blast because I loved the episode that we talked about, Strange New Worlds episode 2, all about Uhura and everything about that. I was just like, yeah, more of that, please. I enjoy this. It was very good. And we had a lot of our, like the regular callers who tend to come into Mission Log call in. We had a good time. The hour went by way too fast because it always does. And I got to talk with my buddy Norm, which is always a blast. So it was nothing but win, 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 as I said in the episode.
Oh,
That's
that was
kind of
such a
how
great
the
moment when you quoted The Office.
right, yeah, because that's what the story resolution was. Is everybody won in this one?
Mhm.
They got to go away happy.
Hang on. Just real quick. Scott Jensen is, I knew he'd get a little defensive about the He-Man characters. He says, it's armor, Anne-Marie, not an outfit.
I love that
It's
doll.
not a top.
I love that doll's outfit.
Yeah, you should see what He-Man wore and
Gosh,
Prince
Wait,
Adam.
really fast. Remember when Sid was on the Seventh Rule and somebody was talking about action figures and Sid was like, yeah, that was a really nice doll. And you just like watch everybody's face be like so defensive, like they're action figures.
So different.
Yeah. Anyway,
Well, everybody
sorry.
knows my friend Darth, he gets mad if people calls them dolls because he says they're action figures. But actually, he doesn't even call them action figures himself. He calls them his guys. Like he's like, yeah, I'm gonna play with my guys. Like his bros.
It's like his entourage.
Yeah, his homies.
Guy.
My guys.
I love it. Okay.
His guy friends. Anyway, so Shar, that's pretty awesome. You said it was the second time you've been on Mission Log and you were with Norm. How long has Mission Log been going? I think it's been going forever, right?
Oh golly, Mission Log Live. I want to say they've been going for 2, maybe 3 years.
Mhm.
And the Mission Log, the podcast proper, I think they're going on 9 years this year.
Yeah.
Maybe 10.
Maybe.
I don't know. I can't think that far back anymore. That was ages ago. But I've been listening to Mission Log since the very beginning, since episode 1.
Wow.
Yeah.
One. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. From the very
Did
beginning.
they start before you did your Voyager?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, they
really?
did. They got started. Yeah. They were doing the original series when we debuted.
Wow. Yeah, I couldn't remember like exactly how far apart you guys had started because it was so.
Yeah, the
I mean, it was
timing.
so close, especially looking back on it now.
It all blurs. Yeah, definitely.
Amazing. Oh yeah, that was such a great Mission Log Live this week. You and Norm have so much fun together. You're so cute to watch. I
Well,
just
we
love
do.
it.
We have a lot of fun, and we've got just kind of that that timing. We know what the other's going to do or will not do, or, we can anticipate. And that makes it so much easier than if you don't know what, like if you're brand new with a co-host and you don't understand their mannerisms and their cadence, it's kind of awkward. It usually has its jumbles. In an audio podcast, you can edit that out. Live, no, you all know that.
Totally.
We just kind of fly by the seat of our pants. We don't even really know.
Oh,
like every once in a while, I'll have like this petrified look. I'll be like this. And that means like, I didn't anticipate this,
Oh,
just
shoot.
like, what do I do? I should have thought of this before I just clicked the button haphazardly. Let's go live. Fuck it.
We're going to do it live.
What could possibly go wrong?
Oh,
but that's pretty awesome. So Mission Log Live going on for 2 or 3 years, and Mission Log proper for 9 or 10. And you did To the Journey. When did you start that?
To the Journey. Okay,
let's see. November. We debuted November 2012.
Wow, that's
freaking awesome. That's before I even knew podcasts existed. That's so ahead
they
of the
were
curve.
Still kind of a like in their infancy. A lot of people didn't know what podcasts were in that day. And then they kind of blew up in the years that followed. Now everybody has a podcast.
That show was just incredible. Oh my gosh. The deep cut references just at the tops of your heads were just amazing.
Well, what's so great is that it was effortless because we had both watched the show so many times. It's just inside our heads forever. We could have like, I don't know, useful facts in there that would get us like really high paying jobs. But no, we're going to talk Voyager.
Well,
that's what's in there.
Some of the Voyager episode titles are so hard to remember too, especially when they get into the blank.
Oh, I know. There's so many of them.
That.
It's that and the one word titles. That was really Voyager's jam.
Yeah. And also like the one-off aliens in Voyager, I always find they're hard to remember their names, or like the one-off characters occasionally, but the alien titles, I'm like, you guys were so good at that. So fun.
The Malon.
Well, everyone knows the Malon.
They were fun.
What are other aliens from Voyager? What were one-off aliens from Voyager? I can only think of the ones that
one-off. Oh,
that's the thing, because there's so many one-offs because they're just traveling through.
The first thing that comes to mind, because Mission Log recently covered
George
it was
Costanza.
Oh yeah, from Jason Alexander was in there. I forget that species because of course we're live, and the first thing that came to mind though was in season 1, the creepy pleasure guy and his planet. Those guys, the Bahari. That's not right. Oh my gosh, you guys, my brain is fried.
I know. Actually, this one is one I usually know.
Yeah. So everybody at home, go easy on Shar today. Okay. She's had a rough week and a rough day. No tough questions, just softball pitches like, how are you? Or,
use the small
what's
words.
Your favorite color? Yeah.
Yeah. For real though. It was a busy and trying work week at times when you are troubleshooting code. It's the most rewarding feeling in the world when you figure it out. But all the while, all that effort it takes to get to that point, it can take a while. And that's what has happened. And my brain is just making a whirring noise at this point. That's where we're at.
Speaking of worrying, how about the Warriors playing starting in 40 minutes?
I heard they won.
Yeah, but they're playing again tonight. So we all know what we're doing as soon as we stop being live here. We're going to watch the Warriors.
Oh, wait. Hi, Galinda. It's so good to see you.
Galinda, hello. Thank you so much for joining us. We love seeing you, and you are the best.
Yes.
Ever. Neil Blumengarten, by the way, I believe Neil was the one that got me yelled at on live television on Paramount Plus. Remember when?
The answer is not Ryan T. Husk.
Yeah, there was a live premiere.
Season, whatever this last season was.
Discovery, maybe season 3 or 4. And they had one of those live premieres, and they had like this live Vulcan guy who, some actor pretended to be a Vulcan, and they were doing like a live chat thing here before it was about to premiere. And he said, he like asked a question or something, I don't know. And I just said hello in the chat. And then I think Neil Blumengarten just said, hey, Ryan T. Husk or something like that. But the Vulcan actor guy thought that he was answering whatever trivia question So anyway, I'm hanging out with my crew. We're trying to watch this thing. We're talking, and all of a sudden you just hear the Vulcan say, "No, Ryan T. Husk is incorrect." I'm like, I didn't even say anything.
That was so funny.
Wow.
No, Neil.
It felt like he was scolding me, but it turned out that it was just because Neil said that. So shout out to Neil for that gem that we will always remember. Okay, so Shar, I want to know more about To the Journey, because you were podcasting before any of us even really knew what podcasting was, to be honest. I remember way back in the day at Star Trek Las Vegas, there'd be like Trek FM would have a table, and I'd go there.
Yes.
Maybe I would knew one of them or something. I'd be like, "Hey, what's this?" And they're like, "Oh, it's Trek FM. What we do is we do like, we talk about Star Trek on like audio stuff, kind of like a radio thing." And I was like, that sounds terrible.
Yeah,
and they were like trying to like really sell it. They're like, "Oh, you really got to check it. Here, hold this thing, and here's this pamphlet, and here's a stick." And I was just like, I felt like it really, but they were really onto something. I just had no idea because I was so snooty about everything. I was like, but what inspired you to get up on that?
Well, first off, I think that is a lot of people's initial reactions to podcasts. Like, you do what? It's like a radio show, but on the internet. Who cares? But then you realize there's a podcast for every niche out there, and that suddenly people are geeking out about the things you love to geek out about, and it's sort of a thing. And let's see, the way this all got started is I was kind of just looking for a way to have a creative outlet. And I was really starting to get back into Star Trek in like about 2010. I'd taken a little bit of a break for a while and then just dove right back into it. Just started watching the whole thing all over again and thought, I ought to see what is out there for Star Trek websites these days. And so I looked around, saw various things, and came across Trek FM. And at the time, they had a video show hosted by Tristan Riddell. And I just thought, oh, that's really cool. They did the Star Trek news and it was very well produced and professional. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. Saw their call out for people to be writers. And I thought, oh, I can write things. I know things about Voyager. I'll pitch some ideas. And that's how that all got started. I started writing a couple of articles and then eventually got into the podcasting thing. And rest, as they say, is history.
And it's not even just that you were like Star Trek podcasting in the early days, but the quality of the show and also like the content was it's just mind blowing. And also, I really do think you were a champion for Voyager in a time when Voyager was not very cool. And
that's changed a lot.
You really championed getting Voyager awesome and sort of like mobilizing fans, I think.
Yes. You know what? I will take a small amount of credit for that because over the years, Voyager has finally gotten the love it deserves. But there was a time when Voyager was not cool at all. Like Voyager was the weakest show of them all. And the way people like to tear down, the quote unquote new Trek, people were doing that to Voyager in the 90s. And I wanted to do the Voyager show because it deserves some love. A lot of fans know it's not a perfect show. We have our grievances with it. That's fine. We can be honest about that and appreciate it at the same time. That's where the whole show kind of centered around with that. And we wanted to do a comprehensive show, talked about the show entirely because everybody was doing episode reviews. We went in with that and then took it.
When you do like you didn't even just do episode reviews, you would do like, here's a subject. But then the way you would just reference like 20 or 30 episodes by title or by line.
I mean, okay. To be fair.
This is some next level knowledge.
I mean, Memory Alpha is a beautiful thing. And yes, we did make notes. We came prepared. That is actually a big part of doing that kind of a show so that you have the knowledge on hand so that you can riff off of it instead of oh gosh, okay, I think it was this thing like I was just doing earlier here. But it's just like if we would ever come upon that stumbling block on the show during recording, if we did come across something we didn't know, we would get on Memory Alpha, we would not stop recording, but we would edit out, the filler and then come back just to get clarification.
Real quick, Sirach and I Sirach Lofton. We are currently doing seasonal reviews of Deep Space Nine season 1, 2, 3, 4.
Nice.
Just to really fill everything out perfectly and neatly before we move on to season 7 in a couple weeks. And so we just recorded season 2, and we had done the reviews, 2.5 years ago. So we should have taken notes, like you said, because we go and we're like, okay, so season 2, episode 5 was whatever. And we're like, I don't really remember that episode. What was that episode? And I look
7
at Sirach, he's like,
It's a lot.
I don't know. And I'm like, I long since have deleted those notes from way back.
Oh my God, I've never deleted a note in my life.
that I kept those notes for the longest time, for like seasons 1 through like 4. And then eventually I was like, why do I need these notes? So I deleted them all. That would have been fun to look back at those. But anyway, yes.
That's why you keep them.
You should always be prepared, because then otherwise there were literally a couple of them where we're like, was that the one where such and such happened? No, I don't really know. Where we just truly don't. If you see the first second of the episode, you go, oh, I remember this episode,
Right.
But sometimes you just look at the title and you're like, what the hell was that?
Well, IMDb doesn't always say like the B line or the.
Oh, they never do.
Line,
Yeah.
So it
hardly
can be
ever.
hard to remember. Oh, really fast.
Thanks.
We have RK in the live chat. First time here. Like,
Hey, hello.
RK. Oh, yeah, it does say, hi, everyone. First time here. I'm loving Strange New Worlds. RK, can I just say that I as well am loving Strange New Worlds? What about you guys?
Yes.
I just started watching this week's episode another time before we came on air today, and I'm like, the little and paying like really close attention, and there were so many cool clues as to how the episode would end that I didn't pick up on the first couple times because I wasn't watching carefully, or I didn't know how it would end the first time. So I'm like, this is a really, it's so well done. Every little second you catch new things. Also, I'm just obsessed with number one's makeup station, which is something you rarely see in Star Trek, if ever. And it all matches and is so organized. I'm like, yeah, this is a woman after my own heart. I love the show.
She's goals.
I was
But
totally
how about that
into it, too.
tunic? That's what I'm talking about. I love that tunic she wears.
Okay, you guys know you like the jackets. Yeah, come on,
I want that jacket so badly. It's so well fitted.
Yes. Yeah, the jackets are always top notch, though. Star Trek jackets, always well put together.
Picard's action jacket, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Action jacket.
So good.
Action jacket.
That's what Greatest Generation calls it, his action jacket.
It's awesome.
But then for some reason, in attached, he leaves it in that jail cell, and we never see it again. I'm like, I'm always screaming, pick up your jacket. You could sleep on that thing when you have to camp out. Why would you leave a part of your wardrobe there?
You could put it on Beverly when she's cold to be like, oh, let me just wrap this around you.
Oh, that'd be such a cute move. I'm blushing. Love it.
That would be adorable.
So that was actually one of my favorite parts of the away mission pictures, was when you guys were at Vasquez Rocks, not for arena and everything, but because that attached episode is just so sweet. Mm-hmm. And you guys all looked like you were walking around in part of the episode.
Wait, no, attached was Bronson Caves and Bronson Canyon.
Oh, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't it? Okay. Isn't it the other side of Vasquez Rocks with the trees?
I don't know.
Maybe, but they certainly shot at Bronson Caves. That's a certainty. Maybe they also did Vasquez Rocks. But remember when they literally walked out of the Bronson Cave, the Bat Cave, in that scene where they first walk out of the cave. Darmok is there as well. You may remember a little episode called Darmok. That was a fun one as well. There are a couple Voyager episodes that were shot there too that I recognized, but I couldn't place them. And so
I wonder if Basics was shot there. I'm not sure.
Oh no, actually Basics was shot somewhere I heard it on Delta Flyers. That was shot up north more because
Was it? Okay.
Robbie was saying he didn't get
You're
invited.
right. I remember that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they had a bit of a drive, didn't they? And they stayed there for a few days.
Yeah, and Tim Russ
Okay.
was playing poker and got like a whole bag of quarters. It's a crazy story.
Nice. I love that show, Delta Flyers. If you're not listening to Delta Flyers,
Get on
you're
it.
not doing podcasts right. I'll just say that. If you're a Voyager fan and you're not listening to them, you really should. They offer just the coolest behind the scenes stuff that you didn't know you wanted to know until you've heard it, but then you're so grateful that they do that every week now.
They definitely gossip a little more, which is kind of fun.
Yes. Yeah, give us the dirt.
Yeah, exactly. Where I'm like, woo, I wouldn't be saying that, but it's really fun to hear it.
I appreciate the honesty, really.
Yes.
Like, it's not always like this,
Tell me who
rose-colored
did
glasses type of thing. Yeah, I appreciate the nitty-gritty details along with all the fun stuff.
Okay, like this episode here.
Yeah.
What is that?
37.
That's the 37s.
Silly.
Okay.
That's Sharon Lawrence.
What do you mean? What is that?
See, I had a feeling you guys, because I'm like, I recognize these things. Like I go, oh, I remember seeing that, but I don't remember what episode that was.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. What about this one? Remember these guys? Hang on, look at this. Do you remember these guys with the weird hats?
Oh,
From
yeah, the garbage
37s.
bag people.
Yeah. Isn't that from the 37? Like the alien?
I think it is the 37 still.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
no,
they're
the garbage
soldiers.
bag aliens are the Sheliak from TNG.
Celiac. Okay.
Who are actually wearing garbage bags.
They look like they're wearing they're like
They're
glad
like black
bag soldiers or something.
Yeah. Okay, crap. I got behind on the live chat. Flying by.
Is this still the 37s too? Because I feel like it's more than just one
Fun
episode.
game. Which one isn't the 37?
Okay. This I'm not sure about.
I'm pretty sure I don't know. It could be. Yeah.
It could be Muse, but don't quote me on that. I've not watched an episode in a long time.
That one where Chakotay gets like taken to that colony with like Borg.
Oh yeah.
That woman seduces him. That looks a little. Here's the thing. A lot of times for Voyager, I don't look at the screen. I just have it playing in my apartment 24/7. So much
in the
better
background.
at audio
Sure.
than.
That is not the attention that Voyager deserves.
I
Anne-Marie.
know, but the issue was that, like, also growing up, I would watch Star Trek from the 90s on a black and white TV that was like 13-inch. So,
oh man.
So I have like a very weird. I have a very weird gaps in my knowledge of what things look like on the screen sometimes.
Oh, interesting. That's
But
kind of
it's still
cool. That's a very
weird to watch
unique.
Next Generation
Okay.
color.
Scott Jensen's got a great name for that alien group. He calls them the Glad Bag Gladiators. So that's pretty good.
That's cute. Or Gladiators.
We got a
with
winner.
2 A's or whatever. I guess Glad's just 1 A. But I love it.
Okay, Galinda reminds everybody victory is like. Yes, everybody please like this video, even if you don't like it, whatever, it's free. And please share it with your friends. Leave us comments down below if you'd like, and please be sure to subscribe to this channel. And while you're doing all those chores I just threw at you, I know that was like too much. I should relax. We're going to bring in Dr. Trek, Dr. Star Trek,
Dr. Star Trek.
Larry Nemechek, who's going to have all the answers. I know I got literally 0 of the answers as far as these Voyager episodes, but he's going to jump in and he's going to know everything. And if he doesn't, let's shame him.
Okay.
Never.
I mean, really, if we could stump him, that would be impossible. Well, it's
but also
impossible.
he's been so busy lately with conventions and away missions. Next week's
Oh
Phoenix.
yeah, there he is.
We're
Dr.
talking
Star
about you, Larry.
Trek!
That's what my ears are burning. So
Okay,
yeah, what
first
did I
things
do?
first. He
I
came
couldn't
prepared.
find where you'd left the trail, so I was
Oh my
digging through
gosh.
everything. Yeah,
What are you drinking, Larry?
it's Diet Dr. Pepper.
Oh,
Oh my
boy.
gosh,
Nice
are you
choice.
Wardonheim?
What? Because
Bill
I'll know the
Erickson is a
pandemic-
major Diet
Oh,
Dr. Pepper
and-
fan.
I'll know
War
the
Dog Himes in
pandemic
the
is
chat.
over when Diet Coke Splenda comes back because it
Oh.
disappeared with the
Oh.
Crystal Pepsi. That's what we need to come back. Crystal Pepsi and
Okay.
Josta. Okay.
I don't even know what that
Josta.
is.
Now I don't know that one.
How old are you?
What's that?
What? It was from the 20s. What's the big whoop? No,
Sounds like some
Josta, it was
Joran
like
soft
a
drink.
dark cola. I think it had like a black puma on it, and maybe like a burgundy label or something. It was really good.
Huh.
When
I
is it?
don't remember
When's it from?
this.
Maybe the 90s.
Okay.
Huh. Maybe
Don't
that
act
wasn't
like
in my
you guys
area. I don't
don't
recall it
know.
at all.
I still
yeah,
think
see,
it
look.
smells like a Bajoran cola.
Oh,
See how easy that was to find? Look at you guys. See?
Wait.
Check it out.
Oh, okay.
Because I'll bet you anything. There are 5 people in the live chat right now that remember Josta, including Scott Jensen. But check this out. Look. You guys don't remember this?
Okay, no, we did not have this. We had
I
Jolt Cola, but not
agree.
this.
Oh yeah, I
Wait,
heard it
vaguely.
With
maybe.
guarana too. That's like that
Wow.
South
that is
American and
some
Brazilian
lizard.
kind of like caffeinated stuff.
So
From Josta berries,
Interesting.
apparently.
So
I
this
agree with
is
Scott
stout.
Jensen that it's no ecto cooler, which was the best. But Scott Jensen says Dr. Trek is from my other favorite Star Trek podcast. Yes, true. Trek Files.
Yes.
Portal 47.
Okay. Well,
Well-
Trek Files is the out-facing public one. So,
Oh,
yeah.
and how good was this week's where you talk about like the Star Log? That was amazing.
Yes. Thank you. Thank
You
you.
know, I have-
Amy.
You know, I have
Yeah.
a million alerts set for like the second Larry posts in any of his names. And so like at 3 a.m. or usually you post like 3 minutes before midnight your time. And my
Mhm.
phone starts going crazy about Trek Files.
That's
Larry,
all the
before
John
you
Hammond-
answer that, you've got a lot of people in the live chat that are saying hello to you. So I want to hit those up. Chuck A says hello. Kimber Spores says hi, Larry. Galinda just says yay, presumably about you. Portia says hi, Larry. David Gregory says hey, Larry, with lots of different colored hearts. And by lots, I mean 3.
Yeah, that are
Johnny
Star
Pearson
Trek color hearts.
salutes Larry, and
Who did? Who
so
was that
on
last
and
one?
so forth.
Who was the
Johnny
last person?
Pearson.
Oh, okay.
And Scott Jensen says he remembers. See, I knew it. He remembers
Oh, Don
Josta.
Crandall's here.
Anyway, sorry, Larry, you
Oh,
were
and then
saying?
also RK's here drinking root beer. Okay, sorry.
Nice.
I don't know what I was saying now. Okay. Whatever.
Maybe
Oh,
maybe nothing.
about Portal 47.
Oh no, yeah, I was just saying Trek Files is public facing, and the thing about it dropping at midnight Pacific is just the way John wanted to do it. So the way Roddenberry podcast
It's
wanted to
smart.
do it. So that's fine with me.
Good call.
Don Champion?
Mm-hmm.
What a guy.
We love him.
Who is
He's a
Love
good
that
guy.
dude.
in
In
Scotland.
London. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I know what I
Scotland.
wanted to say.
Yes,
also.
he is right now.
Yes, he's entertaining the world with his Instagram snapshots. I want to tell the world, for anybody who ever either watched his show, The Psych Show, or watched Life Support Live, one of the reasons we ended it, besides the pandemic ending, was that Dr. Ali Matu, Ali was due for a second child, and their little boy was born on the 17th, and he put some pictures up on our Life Support
Oh,
page. So if
cute.
anybody didn't hear that
Aw.
news, or if you ever saw, he does things with Drea, Star Wars, Star Trek things too, besides me. But anyway, Dr. Ali and Anu had
Awesome.
their little boy.
Oh, and Larry goes,
Congratulations.
welcome to the world 404, which was so cute because it's the second child.
Oh, I said 4 of 4.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was so cute.
Oh, 4 of 4. Got it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like
That's
404,
cute.
like an error code.
No. 404.
That was the
That's
first
not
thought in my
nice.
head too. Let's
Yeah,
be
I'm
honest.
sure. Yeah.
404.
I'm gonna
Yes.
leave that up to the somebody in the family to say that one. But
So, Larry,
Oh.
you arrived just in time because we were all testing our Voyager and Bronson Canyon knowledge. Mine is very low. Anne Marie and Char were pretty high, but you probably can answer some questions. He's already
You
pulling
got
out
We
it.
his
need to
notes.
ask him this one that he does know.
guess
Where
what was
is the
sitting
cat?
right here? It's the sheets I took with us last week. So
Love it. Love it.
Nice.
Good, doesn't-
He's talking
Where
about
was
the away
Taft film
missions,
again?
and we'll cover those a little bit more. Larry, what Voyager episodes were shot at Bronson Caves and Bronson Canyon?
okay, the one with Aaron playing the young Kazon.
Really? I know that was
Initiation.
shot. That
And,
was shot at Vasquez Rocks, but also Bronson Caves, huh?
Oh, I'm sorry. You're totally right. You're totally right. Who
Yeah.
the hell?
My brain is mush
now?
between the two.
Larry
because I've been
Nemechek,
looking at all the
everybody.
pictures.
Yeah. But I'm trying to think.
Oh, initiations? Is that what
Yeah,
it's called?
right.
That's the one.
Yeah, Initiations was shot at Vasquez. Yeah, I just they're standing on those little I don't think, now that I think about this, I don't think that a Voyager, I said that, but I don't think a Voyager was.
Well, we saw
one Enterprise was, and then,
Oh, Brian was wondering about the 37s. I couldn't remember where that shot.
Yeah. Was that Vasquez?
Yeah, the 37s is it. Oh, duh. Yeah. Okay. So that day I realized that there were two that I didn't have a tag on Bronson. The 37s was one. The whole thing about Voyager being parked behind the profile cliff to the side of the caves. Yeah, that's the 37s. But also I'd left Shakar on DS9 off of that. So I was like, every 5 minutes I was like, okay, everybody. And also like anybody really cared by then. But
no, I'm super into it. Wait, okay. So I couldn't remember. Was attached? Which one was that one shot at?
Batman Cave.
Attached.
That's Bronson. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I ever doubted you, Ryan.
that one. Come on. Isn't that the only one where Picard had that jacket too? Is that the only one?
No, he had the jacket like a season up to that, and that's episode he loses the jacket, and then you don't see the action jacket again.
He had the jacket with Darmok. Well, not with Darmok and Jalad. He had the Dathan.
Okay.
He wears the jacket in Darmok.
So everybody at home, we were talking a little bit about the away missions. Larry Nemechek joined us for some of them. Obviously, one of them was Bronson Caves because there's so much. Larry actually showed up with printed call sheets from the 90s. Look at this.
Well, these aren't from the 90s. This is printed out of my database, but yeah, it could have.
I mean, the call sheets from the 90s. And so like when Sirach was like, oh yeah, I remember shooting Nor the Battle to the Strong here. And I remember it being super hot. And then I was like, well, it was like episode 3 or 4 of that season. So it was probably shot in August. I go to Larry, I'm like, was it shot in August? And he goes, yep, August 17th or whatever it was. Like he actually has the shoot date.
Amazing.
On him and in front of him.
August 12th and 13th.
Amazing.
In 93.
You guys were talking about like things dropping from the ceiling when Kim Friedman had been on the episode Nor the Battle to the Strong on Seventh Rule. She was saying the same thing, like they were filming in that cave and things were like falling from the ceiling. And it seemed like a really big work hazard.
Oh, wow.
But it was great shots. Yeah.
We were standing there when they had the cave fenced off, which at first I thought was a real bummer, but then it didn't really slow anybody. I mean, you couldn't walk through and there's some cool shots. It's very easy to do really cool silhouettes when people are like walking out the other end and you got sun coming in. It's really cool. But it wasn't a big deal. And it's a good thing because we were standing at one point, people were just broke up into clumps and we were standing by the fence and we heard this noise and looked, and on the Bat Cave side of it, you could see something had fallen out of the, some rock had fallen the ceiling, but it hit the door and it just made this big dust cloud. And then it came through the cave and came out our end.
Those were very dramatic pictures.
5 or 6
for example,
of us were sitting there.
Yeah, it was right here. So this is the back end, the
other side of that little,
And we had most of us had moseyed on over to here by then. And then a piece of the ceiling fell, and it must have been a really big piece because a huge amount of dust bellowed out, so much so that we all basically left at that point. We're like, okay, we're no longer welcome here. It's so damn dusty.
Wow.
It was like a mini version of like if you had video when the buildings fell at 9/11 and then people stand, the news camera sitting here and then the dust comes through and everybody goes, oh, we got to get out of here. It was a little bit like that because you saw the dust come at you through the cave. And we were like, oh, that's going to not stop.
Now, everybody looking at this picture here, by the way, I climbed up on the side to take this picture, and I'm very pleased with how it turned out. But the rocks were a little slippery, so I was very pleased with myself that I didn't embarrass myself. I climbed up just fine. However, everybody here is looking at something. What are they? Oh, well, that's Larry Nemechek telling stories here.
There's so many pictures of everybody looking at Larry.
Yeah. We also had a co-showrunner of Prodigy. Sorry, go ahead, Larry.
You two had the best shot together. You guys had that shot where Larry's standing with Aaron Wilkie and Aaron's wearing the Go Climb a Rock shirt, and then Larry's pointing to a rock.
So that's Larry. That's a co-showrunner of Prodigy, Aaron J. Waltke. Sirach is right here trying to chill, but eventually everybody started asking him all these questions about Deep Space Nine, so he couldn't hide forever.
Well, he was supposed to be, but then Sirach took point over toward the weird circle, and everybody was listening to him when I took a video of that. I kind of
What was up with that circle? Who made that?
It's been there for like years. It's like nobody messes it up, and if they do, somebody comes back. I don't know. It's like a
Wow.
prayer thing. It's
Like,
some
what is the meaning
new
of the
agey. It's like
circle?
name your whatever. Has nothing to do with Star Trek or with anything else. So
Yet.
It has always been
waiting.
there.
Strange New Worlds is going to make a huge cross-country trip just to shoot something at
I
Bronson.
wish.
Oh, that's such a bummer that they shoot up way over in Toronto, is it? Ugh,
Oh,
come
someone
on,
was making a
guys.
really not a dissing point of other new Star Trek, but a point that it's so fun having Picard shooting in LA again. And you can get, LA actors coming in as one-offs who then we'll recognize on other. I mean, I watch a lot of Canadian television.
Well, and LA
I recognize those people, but
LA crew people getting jobs.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And also sometimes like 90s Star Trek people then getting crew jobs, which is
Mhm.
very, very fun.
People who were
Sometimes.
excited about
That's true.
Star Trek starting up, and then they went, "Oh, it's going to be in Canada." Well, I heard.
Well, that's the Orville gets them jobs.
True. And
There
for all
you
my
go.
That's
time.
true.
Yeah. Hopefully behind. I don't know how many behind camera, but I mean on camera, obviously. No, somebody I heard from a good source. I mean, not this is controversial or a spoiler or anything, but basically, the 10 episodes of Picard cost 4 times to make as what similar 10 episodes would be in Toronto.
Yeah.
4 times.
No kidding.
This is why LA is losing film production.
Wow.
So sad.
Are the tax breaks that good in Canada?
And I said that, and they just kind of laughed. Like it was in LA only because Patrick didn't want
Stewart.
to fly, and that was before COVID. I mean, he just didn't want the hassle of the flying.
Yeah.
So the tax break was kind of like, well, that's nice, but it was not really a big major. Apparently, not a major
Okay. Huh.
factor. Because I thought
Jeez.
maybe they've got that in with the state, as if Star Trek needs an in. But it's like now they've gone through the process, they should just slot in another show and just keep applying for that tax credit. And it's like, no, that was all because of Patrick.
I mean, just historically,
Right.
it's sad because then we don't get to have like more and more shows filming on those same historic lots and getting those cool, like, I think Mae Barella was posting pictures of the Paramount lots at the tour during the away missions and seeing like all of the things on the plaques that have shot there. And it's so fun.
Those are
seeing
cool.
So many Star Trek things. And then like one of the stages was like King Kong, 10 Commandments. And you're like, it's amazing history. Not that I don't love Canada.
Well, yeah, I'm just like nothing. Well,
I
all
love
these
Toronto.
people, when streaming started, and all these people that said, I'm not paying for it because God meant for Star Trek to be free. And I was like, forget that. God meant for Star Trek to be shot in LA.
Yeah, all of us who were in LA were really disappointed about that whole thing. Like,
It's
wait a minute, they're not
Maha's
shooting here?
Hill.
Are you
Yeah.
kidding?
Anne Marie loves it because she's
I heard
just
it
a
was
hop,
Maha
skip, and a
Meets
jump
Will.
from Toronto.
Well, I love Canadian television, so it's fun when I see people from the like Murdoch Mysteries showing up on that. But it's also
There's
what's more
Canadian
fun-
television?
Oh, I
Oh
watch it
yeah,
so
and it's
much.
good.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I watched
I just
about a
finished
year and a
Private
half of
Eyes.
Corner Gas.
Oh yeah, I saw some of that, but I just finished Private Eyes, which is Nikki DeBoer's show with, and the executive
cool.
producer is Sean Pillar, Michael Pillar's
Oh, no
son.
kidding.
And there are 5 seasons, so 3, 4, and 5 just came out in America. You have to buy them on
Cool.
Amazon, but it's fun because like every season there are 1 or 2 like little cute Star Trek nods that are in there because of Sean Pillar. They'll be like 2 people going on a date and they're going to like the Philharmonic to hear Star Trek music being performed, or they'll be like someone who like does wedding photography and they'll be talking about like the kinds of weddings she photographs, and they'll include Klingon weddings. Like,
Hey guys,
it's just very cute.
just want to point out very quickly that our good friends over at Orville Nation are in the live chat. Hello to Orville
Oh,
Nation.
hi.
We are only, what, 13 days away. 13 days
Oh,
away from the Orville
soon.
finally coming back,
No.
unless they give us a new announcement that it's pushed to a different date.
They've been having their premieres and red carpets and everything.
But yeah,
Yeah.
hello to Orville Nation. Scott Jensen is pleased that I didn't embarrass myself climbing up those rocks. And so shout out there. But check this
out
out.
the park.
Also, another picture to share with everybody. And this is, Larry basically being the scholar that he is. He's telling his stories. Everybody's listening. We got some familiar faces here,
There's
some good
Aaron.
friends.
And there's Aaron's Go Climb a Rock in his t-shirt.
So cute.
Yep.
I love that he wore that.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
And
And
Joe,
Only one
Joe
t-shirt.
Corn brought there from the documentary team.
Yeah.
Joe Cornbro. He's
Nice.
our producer and editor. There's Ryan T. Sirach, obviously Aaron. Good group there.
Yeah.
Some
So cute.
dude hiding out in the
Look at
back because he
that.
didn't want his picture taken.
You all look
And
good.
then lastly, this was when Sirach felt like, well, I guess I got to talk about Deep Space Nine now. Videotaping him and listening in.
He's so stylish.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
promised
good
him
day.
actor material, Sirach. You've got to come.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Whoa, the
Uh,
Flintstones movie was shot in Vasquez Rocks. I didn't know that.
Yes, it was.
didn't know that.
All those
Wow.
round rocks there for free.
Wow. Interesting.
Hey, Anne Marie, you said what was the name of that series that Sean produced? in
Oh,
Canada?
Private Eyes.
Okay, Private Eyes, and Nikki was on it. Did they ever do
Yes,
like
Nikki's a
Ezra?
recurring.
Okay.
No, but Nikki's a recurring guest, so she's in maybe like maybe 33% of the episodes.
I just wonder if they ever like dropped an Esri reference.
No, it's usually like kind of like a TO, like something that's very run of the mill and obvious. And in this
Yeah.
past season, like somebody said something like live long and prosper, but like it was hidden in like an actual sentence. It's really cute the way that they drop Star Trek in. It's a little bit like it's very Canadian cheesy murder mysteries, which I love. But yeah, it's worth Nikki's amazing in it. And
Cool.
it's really fun seeing Sean Pillar continuing to make shows.
So
I'll
she's
have to
never
check
like
that out.
walked up and had to introduce herself to somebody, and the person she meets is like named Curzon Jadzia or something.
Oh my God, how fun would have that been? No, but I'm like such a dork that when it would happen, I would like take a screenshot and be like, this is so fun. Yeah, it's great.
I have a feeling the name Curzon was taken from a street in Hollywood because there's
I've
a
always
Curzon
thought
street,
I
but with
always
an
meant
S
to
instead of a
ask-
C. You've seen that, right?
Yeah,
And
I
I'm
always
like,
meant
that
to ask
can't be a
Michael,
coincidence.
because it's over near their house, so they live.
Oh
over-
wow.
Hmm.
Yeah. What is that south of Larchmont called? But Curzon, there's a Curzon street over, just a little further west.
Yeah, but it's with an S instead of a Z.
Of a Z,
Still
yeah.
too
Oh.
coincidental. There's
Mhm.
something there. Kind of like what was that movie
What
that
was the
was
name
like
of that shuttlecraft in TNG that sounded a lot like Nemechek?
Oh, good grief, you're on fire, Anne. Okay. The Nenebek, yeah,
Yeah. Named after Larry,
yeah.
incidentally.
was it really?
Mhm. I thought I told you the story. Wait, Larry, you tell it. You're better at telling it. It's
No,
so cool.
Jerry Taylor used to say that she hated one of the things she hated about writing Star Trek. The biggest thing she hated was coming up with alien names.
Oh,
And
that's
so
the
she
best
would-
part.
She would look around and just take a name somewhere and like change 2 letters and use that. And before we had met, it was early 4th season when she was on the show. And before we'd even met, she had one of my custom printed concordances before I had the companion on her desk because all the writers were using them. And she saw Nemechek and changed the N to an N, M to an N, and the C to a B. And that's where she got Nenebek. And I didn't think about it for years.
Wow.
And finally, some fans said, "Did they name the Nenebek after you?" And I was like, "I don't know, but it sounds like it." And then I saw it was Jerry's script, and it was so many years later. It was when we bought our house and we were having a housewarming, and Jerry was so sweet, and she came and she brought us these because Janet had worked for Jerry with Lolita, and she brought us these like crystal, champagne glasses, goblets. And for a gift anyway, and it was like all those years later, and she had retired, and I said, "By the way, Jerry, did you?" And she was like, "Oh, I guess I must have." So I'll take that. Yeah,
That's awesome.
I love
I
that.
said, "Oh, great, fine." So the one thing in Star Trek name for me is almost kills Picard and Wesley. Okay, it's the alien crappy
Yes.
shuttle, killer shuttle. Great.
That's such a good episode.
Yeah, it is. No thanks to the killer crappy alien shuttle.
Real quick, that reminds me of, you guys remember the movie Cloverfield?
Haven't
Cloverfield
seen
is like a
it, but the title's
sci-fi
familiar.
But
alien
it was
monster.
J.J. Abrams' thing he did when he announced
Right.
Star Trek. Yeah.
Right. So that was named after the road, the street that is in Santa Monica which was the street that you would see if you're just looking right out the building. You just see that. And it was supposed to be just the working title was Cloverfield because they didn't want to call it like Godzilla or whatever the hell it was going to be. And they ended up just keeping it. So that's why because I know everybody was wondering why are they calling this thing Cloverfield?
Wasn't that where his offices were then?
Yeah, in Santa Monica. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, why would you call that movie Clover? It it made zero sense and it was totally irrelevant. But that's why. Oh, movie magic. Boy, oh boy, you guys. Sorry, we
the
brought
Royale,
memory.
the infamous Royale.
Oh, you mean my favorite episode?
episode?
Baby needs a new pair of shoes.
Yeah. The Royale episode was named for the El Royale apartment there in south of just that's in like Vision. Just Paramount.
That's amazing.
Old 20s 30s era apartment that's been kept up. Has the neon L Royale on the side, but it's the El Royale, not the Royale like the episode.
Interesting.
I love that episode.
Well, this is just scintillating.
It is. This is how I like to spend my Friday nights. Oh, look at that. Wait.
There you go. There's a
cave. Yep. We did take the jacket with him.
Mm-hmm. Walking out of the Bat Cave with Beverly.
I love that episode so much. I can't even wait for season 3 of Picard so they're back together.
What do you think is going to happen, Henry?
I don't know, but like the fact that Beverly's in every episode, I'm like, oh my God. And he seems like he's been primed. Like, I'm not saying Laris was a rebound, but it seems like she opened the door back up to his heart.
You're already dismissing Laris. Oh my God. No, come on now. They just barely got started.
I do.
I heard they named Laris after Larry Nemechek, by the way. Just saying. That's what I heard. That's what Picard told me.
I was pissed when I kept waiting on season 1 to come. I thought, oh my God, she's like the best new thing of this series. And I kept waiting for him to come back to Earth to find her at both of them. Okay, her and Jabin too. But I loved her, and she like rose and made it better than what she was given to do. And they didn't come back to her at the end. I'm like, what? And then when she's in season 2, I'm like, yay! But I mean, who could have predicted where they took Orla? Is a thing.
And also, they needed to reinsert that "I Love Lyris" scene where she's stomping the grapes at the vineyard because you saw those outtakes. And it's just like that should have made whatever, just make the episode 1 minute longer. Don't.
And then she gets in a fight with somebody, and it's the homage to Lucy.
Yes.
I would love that so much.
Who's the other person they got in a fight with? Yeah, totally. It was so good.
Well, but here's the thing about the season 3.
I think they'll get back together.
How frustrated were you when they pulled that final shot in season 2 and they're pulling back and it's him and her and they just stand there. Nobody
moves. You want to hear what they're saying.
It's not even a kiss on the cheek. They're just standing there like, okay, how long do I have to stand here?
Aren't they just holding hands?
Yeah, they're just holding hands and staring at each other.
Well, as we know in Star Trek, holding hands is like the super sexiest thing you can possibly do. That's happened how many times?
It's even hotter.
It's how
because a lot of aliens have their sex organs in the palms of their hands.
Right? On
so they're actually making babies when they're doing that. Alien babies.
Not all aliens keep their genitalia in the same place.
Not all have their genitals in their hands.
Yes, genitals. Yeah. I was gonna ask you.
Well, so
you know what? My friend ran into Whoopi Goldberg last night. She was at a Broadway show, and my friend got discount tickets in like one of the front rows. And he started he's new to Star Trek and has started on Picard and is a major fan now. And then he texted me after. He's like, "Guess who was in front of me? Guinan." And I was like, "Oh my God, why didn't I go with you?"
Did you say young Guinan or old Guinan?
Old Guinan. Well, how dare you? Why Guinan? Why?
Ooh, Larry,
young Guinan. Baby Guinan.
Mature Guinan.
Baby Guinan.
They're long-lived. Yeah, Baby Guinan, like Baby Yoda, only bigger. Bigger with better guns. Yeah.
I was like,
big time.
Wear her hat. I love her. Yep.
So Larry, we know you only have about a half hour, which is just ended.
I can stay a little longer. Right.
What a relief.
Yay.
Great.
Maybe he just gave himself an out if he wasn't having fun.
Yeah, he's like, it depends on how things are going, but far,
my
so
evening
good.
blew up and things rearranged. So it's
lucky.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay. So just to finish off on the away missions, Larry, you also took everybody through historic Santa Monica Pier. By the way, you have everybody
I
else.
should say, Larry, nice legs. Because of the futures past.
Future's End.
Future's End. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's what they say.
Yes, I had to go to the pier just to see those shots and try to recreate them shortly
Yeah.
after I moved here.
It's easy
Were you
to do,
able to?
although it was sad because sometime in the
Close.
last 5 years, the hot dog on a stick has closed.
Yeah, right. I was so disappointed
What a
about that.
casualty.
I don't even like hot dog on a stick,
Well,
but
I mean,
dang
when-
it, it was in the show.
Well, the big, yeah, but I mean, the big tour that I started doing this, the Geek Nation tours in 2012 and 2014, we took pictures. It was still very big and red, just like it was for them, for Freakosaurus and Tom Paris. And
Freakosaurus.
you know, people
good
took
stuff.
their pictures, but it's the building is there, but
What's
it's been
Freakosaurus?
Freakosaurus. What did I
Tupac.
say?
Yeah, Tuvok is a Freakosaurus.
Yeah, Tupac.
I
That's
love
Ray
this episode
Robinson, Sarah
so
Silverman.
much.
Fine. Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
and I saw someone was like, was Sarah Silverman there? I was like, no, because she was here in New York that week. I spotted her walking down the street.
Huh. Was anybody just a little bit disappointed that they didn't get Sarah Silverman to make a cameo in Picard season 2 as 2024
Yes.
Rain Robinson? Could we not have had one shot at Griffith, please?
I just want to know what
Just
she'd be
let us know
wearing in
she's okay.
2024 Or 2023.
I wanted to see her. Yeah.
They kept doing little time travel episode on like the City on the Edge of Forever stuff, and everything was like future. Did you notice? It was kind of funny. I don't know if it was intentional or what, but when they first went to Los Angeles, when they established Los Angeles the first time, like back in 2024, and they were doing like quick cuts, your token. Oh, look, it's LA, and here's all the LA landmarks. It was Santa Monica Pier, the observatory, Griffith Observatory. It was like all the Future's End stuff from Voyager was the same because it made sense both times.
So
But it was
fun.
like,
We
are they
expect the Trek fans
intentionally
to
just
remember
using
these.
And
shot
people were
lists
like,
from-
there's Chronoworks in the distance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? You can see that building in the skyline.
which is really the metropolitan, the
Scary.
MTA building, but but no, I mean,
Nah,
the
it's
difference
Chronoworks.
between Bronson and between the pier was Bronson was like 14 planets or something, but the pier was just from, so it was easy. It's like shot here, shot there, but oh, the hot dog on a stick is gone. But it's fun to take people, show them the pictures and, you know, the
Yeah.
original clips like you were kind of doing there. And then if we had better Wi-Fi, I would have said, here's the whole, when we do the big tour, we're on a bus and we've got, you know, built-in screens and we can show like a video clip before everybody gets off. And it's really fresh. But you guys were watching the episodes like the night before, right?
Only one. We watched Nor the Battle to the Strong the night before. We went to Bronson Canyon because that one is featured
real
quite a
pick me
bit.
up.
Yeah, so that was fun. So we kind of took over the hotel lobby. Consensual. They let us do it. They gave us speakers and let us hook up to their TV, which was awesome.
How many rooms? Just curious, how many people booked rooms?
There were maybe 40 or 50, maybe easily half the people that went to all of the things stayed there. And almost all of the people that went to every day were staying there because that made it the most convenient. And shout out, by the way, to Courtyard by Marriott, Burbank Airport, because they were great. And Tara, who works there, was very helpful. And if we ever do something like that again, first of all, convince me otherwise. Secondly, she'll be the first person we call again, I think.
That looked like a
It was
great
a
hotel
slightly
for
different
it.
model, but like welcome to my world, you know, Ryan, when we might go big. Although this 40 and 50 people thing, like that picture, that many people, we've never had more than 8 because it was sold as a week-long deal, and it was then this was all donation to the documentary, and that was the driving force. And here's a perk to, you know, people are giving first and the trip is secondary, or I'm thinking that.
But I did
Exactly.
hear like from multiple people saying that they were, including Homer, saying that they're working on like finding time in their calendar to contact you and book Geek Like Nation tours because it's so
that
much
would be
fun on
cool.
these. And I was like, exactly. I know I'm dying to go on that Roddenberry one in August. Looks
Well,
amazing.
nobody's stopping you. Well, I only need 6. I kept it small. There's only 6. I only need 6 to be to make, and I've got 4 already. So
I heard.
Cool.
on a small scale. I'm keeping it small. I mean, if it
And
blows up,
where-
that's cool. We can handle it. But
Where
keeping-
can people get information about all of this?
Larry, I just got the buttons finally put up today. For everything is all in one place for all 4 of these. 2 of them are Geek Nation and 2 of them are mine, but I work with Geek Nation. But the 4 of them are all at LarryNemechek.com. It's all like on the homepage. You can
Awesome.
click to all of them, or do your own custom if you're here and don't want to do. You're not part of a set day.
Mhm.
And then
And
also,
everybody at
can you
home,
tell
if you
us-
missed that, we'll be sure to repeat that before Larry has to go as well, because that's important information. And we highly recommend it. Just watching him go and wowing people this last week, I was like, dude, more people need to jump on this. Larry knows his stuff.
I heard
We need to
were
give you a
bragging.
nickname. I'm
Well,
gonna
I
think
heard
of something
everybody
clever.
raving about Larry this week all over Facebook because Portal 47 had a special get together for their monthly get togethers, and it was with Kirk Thatcher. And everybody
that's
was
so
cool.
raving about the most amazing time they had on this virtual Zoom call. for the
Oh,
Kirk
man.
Towers crew.
Well, it
That
was
is all.
he was
Larry,
the
before you
delayed-
answer that, I'm really sorry. I just want to make sure that Anne-Marie, that Kimber Spore says Anne-Marie is doing Laris dirty.
Oh,
So I
shit.
just want, this is
I saw
important
that.
that you know this. And but
you know
Chason
Laris
said,
dirty.
You will pay for that.
OMG,
This is
I love you,
Laris.
Anne-Marie. So 50-50.
Oh, and also Robert Kaiser says hi, Larry.
Robert Kaiser out in Austria. Anyway, sorry, Larry. Please
Oh,
continue.
wait, well, no, I'm like, Anne Marie, how are you doing Laris dirty?
It's because I said that
She was a
you want
rebound
out.
chick. Yeah.
I didn't mean necessarily a rebound, just to get him back in the game.
But you
What
did
they
say
have is real.
rebound.
What they have is real. Yeah. Okay.
It's
Real
amazing to
short.
me how Orla Brady, this actress, it's like, how, I mean, I guess she was like
Oh,
60.
the theater actress, but it's like, how have we not seen her?
She's so great, and she's
She's
in. She's
amazing.
been in a couple. I watched so much British TV, so I've seen her in a few things, including like what's it called, Eternal Law or something. That's sort of like a bit like Lucifer, but she's just so amazing and pops in every role she's in, and really like elevates.
The minute
every
you could
show.
tell on
She's-
season 1, it was like, wow, who is that? What,
Yes, and
Oh
someone
my God.
actually just said in the live chat, because Jabon was autocorrecting to Chabon, they were like, "Wait a minute." That
Oh,
made me
okay.
like how that came out. I was like, "Ooh, that's good headcanon." Yeah.
Interesting.
But she, I mean, if they ever wanted to recast Enterprise Innocent for something, she could totally play Joanne Linville's original run.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Oh my gosh, yes.
For who? What?
Yes. Oh my gosh, Ryan.
Enterprise Incident original series,
was a program.
the Romulan Commander and Spock.
Oh yeah, that.
Yeah.
So
There's a lot of similarity
Romulan-
there.
The Romulan
I got you.
commander.
Yeah. Now, but Larry,
That would
but
be
I
awesome.
interrupted you before you could talk about Kirk Thatcher, but that's a really interesting thing. You just did that. Can you tell us a little bit about Kirk Thatcher, who was the punk on the bus, right? But he's also done a ton of stuff in between the punk on the bus 30 years
Bookends.
apart.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, everybody and people got a kick out of seeing Kirk on the bus. I mean, Kirk on the bus.
Kirk on the bus.
The wheels on
Yes.
Kirk's bus go
I'm
around.
gonna start taking more buses.
He said they actually called it Mohawk or what was it? Punk with Mohawk, because they didn't want to set up like a residual. Anyway, somebody actually said, just so they don't have to go and pay whoever has credit on Star Trek 4, they didn't want to call
Amazing.
Punk on a bus, on the Picard. So he's Punk with Mohawk in Picard.
Wow,
So
I
it's
love
not the
these-
same
Okay.
I
character,
love these like script residual
wacky
like,
things.
crazy things.
Yeah.
So
No,
fascinating.
but no. So I was on a panel with him at Phoenix Comic Con a few years ago, and I'd always meant to, but hearing him and listening and reading his little bio was like, oh my God, because he's had a regular. He wasn't like an extra that bobbled in and did that.
Mhm.
He had worked at ILM in the Creature Shop. This is what part of
Yes.
Tuesday night was. It was our guest night from April, but we were delayed, so we've got 2 guests this week. But it was our Portal 47 guest of the month, and he worked in the Creature. He built Kruge's dog, the alien
Did he
dog.
really?
Yeah, and he
Because he's such a
animated.
Muppet OG.
Nice.
He puppeteered the worms. He helped puppet. There were 3 of them, but he helped puppeteer and build the worms that wrapped around Crouge and then that were small and then they
Ha.
evolved.
Oh my gosh.
I'll be damned, I didn't know that.
And he
How did I
worked
not
on,
know
and then he
this?
was even there when he was like, he's like 20, 21, 22 when he's doing this. And he worked on the giant ear that they drag the SETI eel through on Star Trek 2 even.
Oh
He had
my
just started
gosh.
working at ILM.
Nice.
How cool is this guy's life? Oh my God.
Well,
Seriously.
he spent the last 20 years working in the Muppets. He's
Yeah.
done a ton of Muppet movies and games and videos and things. But
Amazing.
after 3, he was, I forget how, anyway, he went in and auditioned to be Leonard's assistant, like not assistant like secretary, but like production hands-on person.
Mhm.
And he did. So everything he did on 4, he had some shots where he was standing around as they shot here on location or something. So he could like talk about the whole shoot and some of the stuff that he threw out. And now I've gone blank on a couple of things, but they're like little things. And he was saying, well, why didn't we do so-and-so? And then they did. Oh, the whole thing in the factory in the transparent aluminum with what's his face and the whole thing of Scotty
Computer.
and saying the whole thing of saying computer to the mouse, that was his idea.
No
oh,
way.
wow.
Yes.
Friggin'
What a
Look
legend.
at that.
It was like they were
Total
like, well, we
legend.
should have a. He says, well, if you're going to do this, you need to have a Mac, not a PC. And this is 1986, so it's like the whole world was PC and Mac was the rebel. He's like, well, if you're going to do it, you've got to have a PC, you've got to have a Mac.
Oh my
And then if he's
gosh.
going to do these lines, have him say, don't just have it, like have him talk to the thing, and when it doesn't happen, instead of just repeating it, have him use the mouse. And the guy says, there's a mouse, and he picks it up and talks. That was all Kirk's idea
Okay.
in the moment.
Genius.
But no, so the punk on the bus was a scripted thing that was kind of loose. And it's really funny. He's telling the story about how like 3 or 4 weeks ahead of time, and he'd been in a band that was punky like 4 or 5 years before this. And he said, Leonard, like it's hard to tell like your boss something that's like over here, and sometimes you're like too close. And that's the way he felt. Like instead of just like, oh, really? Really? Are you gonna do that? Really? So but he said it, he's like, we got this part coming up on the bus that we shoot and sent. Yeah. And he was impersonating Leonard. Because you don't think about how low Leonard's voice is. And he's
Perfect.
like, he said, well, I could do that. I was in a punk band. I could do that. And he's like, like, and he's like, I'm just going to bring it up once and then leave it alone, and then about 2 or 3 weeks later, they were like 2 or 3 days away from packing up to go shoot locations. And he says, it's the end of the day. They've done everything else. They've gone over everything. And he's leaving to go home. And Leonard goes, yeah, okay, you can do it. Just out of the blue like that. But then he wrote the song. And they totally left it up to him. They left it up to him to how to kind of dress. And he put the stickers on the boombox and the whole thing of like what it should be. And he came up with the idea at the originally one of Spock or Kirk, I guess it was a neck pinch, but somehow somebody actually like physically turned a button. They were trying to figure out how to turn the thing off at the end. And he said he should just fall on the buttons after he's neck pinched. And they were like, oh yeah, he should do that. So anyway, amazing. Like that. Plus, anyway, after that, he left ILM and worked, ILM and puppeteering. And then he worked 20 years directing, climbed the ladder, and he worked with Muppets for forever. And now he's doing other stuff. But they had the idea. Terry Metellus said, I had one of the things of Picard season 3 going back in time was I want to recreate the punk on a bus. And he called him. This has been out. This has been tweeted in a story or something. But, all you have to do is like a 1-sentence tweet, and 15 websites will make a 1-page story.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
All
when you
of them.
say you mean them, not.
Yeah, that was a generic you, not
not for us.
No, not
I've done
Unfortunately.
1-sentence tweets before. They don't pick it up.
But anyway, they had it all worked out. But this crazy streaming, like you write it 1 year, you film it the next year, and then 17 years later it finally airs. I hate that. But he's like all these people. He's had to sit on this cool thing for like a year and a half before it finally aired.
So cute.
But anyway, but then it's kind of the same thing. So Leah Thompson is the director, and so they each have their like moments of fame. Her more than him, maybe, unless people are reading the credits on Muppet movies and go Kirk Thatcher. But anyway, so they had a lot of fun, They're little time traveling iconic things.
Amazing.
And they kind of did the same thing. They left it up to the Picard thing. They totally left it up to him what his reaction would be. And he's the one that came up with the whole, I'm sorry, I just like this. I mean, he's the one that, like, instead of being defiant, that he wilts. And that's,
I loved it.
Loved it. It was so perfect and such an
Yes.
amazing commentary on how far we've
Mhm.
come as a society. And I know, like, Star Trek 4 was one of my earliest memories. It was on at somebody's house for a New Year's Eve party, and I was like 3 or 4, and I was so scared of this like big guy because they had a big screen, and he's just so gruff. And I love the commentary, like, people aren't what they appear. It was just beautiful. It was such a beautiful moment on Picard. I loved it.
Yeah. Yeah. The evolution was just fantastic. Like this very
Brilliant.
minor character actually gets a little bit of an arc.
Yeah.
now what I didn't know, because I don't follow him that close. So there was a Marvel movie, a Spider-Man movie, where there's a moment, Spider-Man Homecoming, maybe, I think, because we went
Okay.
all over this, and I had a couple of clips where there's a guy who's since become quasi-recurring. Anyway, he has a food truck, and he videotapes Spider-Man in real life, so his video goes viral, and he tells this whole story about whoever was directing, and you shoot me now because I should be up on my Marvel people, but basically,
The Marvel people.
friend of friend, he's at a party, he goes to a party, and he walks in the room and nobody knows him, but if somebody says this is Kirk Thatcher, there'll be one nerd in these high-level Hollywood production nerds who goes, he said somebody went, oh my God, it's Kirk Thatcher. And he's like, yeah. He goes, Punk on the Bus, Star Trek 4. The 35, 40-year-old whiz kids doing this. And so he's like, yeah. And then he says, you know what? God, we're shooting the scene in New York on Friday and Saturday. It would be so awesome. He goes, well, I'm going to be in New York on Friday. It was totally an accident. Long story short, threw it together, make it happen. He tells this, he's in this meeting. The producer is in this meeting for 10 minutes, has to go to something else. But he says, yeah, make it happen. Him in the scene, da-da-da-da-da-da. He's there. He gets away from his own meetings. He goes over and shoots for an hour, 2 hours. Wears a quasi-punky thing. It's the Punk on a Bus character, only with white beard, looking.
Oh my
homeless,
gosh.
with a
Crossover
boombox.
episode.
So when
Oh
you
my
watch
God.
the scene, there's a boombox guy that's Kirk but he doesn't have a mohawk. He's like, I'm not gonna do a mohawk for this.
But where do
But
you
he
find a
wears
last minute
he's like a homeless
boombox?
guy. And in his head, he said, yeah, it's the San Francisco Punk on a Bus, and now it's 40 years later, and he's wound up in New
He
York.
moved to New
And
York.
he's homeless, and it's the same guy. And I said, well, what about Picard? He goes, well, that's what's amazing. He's like, this. It's like, so then the thing that happens in New York reaffirms all his beliefs. There were aliens. And so he winds up in LA, and he's brought his own mohawk back. Anyway, he's like, no, I said, you've tied the Marvel and the Star Trek universes together.
Oh
And he goes,
my gosh.
he says, well, in my mind,
wanna watch
have.
Marvel
It's the
now.
same. To him, it was the same guy in all 3 cases.
Okay.
Anyway,
I
it
think
was
we want to
love
watch
that.
Marvel movies.
And I said, how do we
Yeah,
get you
I
into
haven't
Star
seen
Wars?
the new Spider-Man movies, so I don't know. But
I think it was
amazing.
it was in one of the previous, not the newest one. Homecoming?
so everybody at home, help us out with this. This is we're gonna need your help.
Since we went
I'm
there,
not
I
seeing
can go
any
dig out my
answers yet.
folder.
This is just so amazing. And I put it in the live chat.
Anyway, that's why it was so much
LLAPy.com for Portal 47
Yeah.
information. And my news feed on Facebook was just like suddenly blowing up about this Zoom call and everybody having like the time of their lives on it.
Well,
Portal,
yay.
Portal
I
47.
can look up
Members
Kirk
went
Thatcher
public
real
and-
quick.
And then he's also in the
Let's-
short trek, of course, voicing it.
Yeah. Well, Portal is all backstage people and the people you don't hear from
is
or
so
hear much
cool.
about.
Yeah, right. He was the narrator on Ephraim and Dot.
Yes, that was
Afro
the
and
other
Dot.
thing.
And
forget-
okay, he was Punk on the street in Spider-Man Homecoming. You got it. Yeah.
Oh my god,
Punk on the
he didn't like
street.
he didn't like New York public transportation.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
You're
He's
right.
gonna be all
He
the
is-
punks.
He is the tie between Marvel and Star Trek. Finally, we've got it. Now we just
Wow.
need somebody. We just need
Tiny little-
Elrond from
tiny.
Lord of the Rings to be in Strange New Worlds, and I'll be happy.
That's all it
It's like
takes.
Star
Okay.
Trek trivia, bar trivia fodder.
What?
Well,
It seems like a question for Star Trek bar trivia, which they do in New York occasionally.
Mm.
now here's something. Since we only have a few minutes left, this is something I wanted to ask Shar. Since you have a Babylon 5 podcast with Norm, right? The Zocalo?
Yeah, we did do it regularly until he got onto Mission Log and has had to focus on that since. But we did that for quite a while. Yeah.
Okay. So Babylon 5 was going to be rebooted, right? And it is still very much, I saw recently that they said it is still very much in progress and in development. Do we know anything? We also heard that all the main actors are going to get some kind of parts. What else do we know?
Has that been confirmed? Because I know that there's been talk of,
said.
yes, they will be around, but you don't know how. But that was also old information. Here's what I do know is, yes, there is a reboot. A pilot has been written. It was supposed to go to production this year, and then the CW, because CW is owned by Warner Brothers, which owns the rights to Babylon 5, had like a change in ownership, blah, 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 business dealings, things that I don't fully understand.
That didn't sound good.
Yeah. Right. Well, here's the bright side. Deadline.com just published an article last night, I think, on that. Well, this is not actually new news. The pilot is still like in the works. It's just been delayed a year. And we knew that, I think, a few months ago. So for whatever reason, Deadline did this article yesterday, even though we knew this a while ago. Same news, but not bad news. It's just there's not any new news.
Well, that's great news, because in the past week, CW axed a ton of shows.
It did. So I'm wondering, is Babylon 5 getting the green light?
Well, it's great to know that wasn't in the list. And I think Mark Altman's Pandora, I think, was still waiting to hear, but a few of the other ones had gotten canceled.
Yeah, so the reboot is afloat.
Pandora is still not decided.
I'm pretty sure that's what I heard, at least on one of their most recent episodes. And I didn't see it on the list, but I don't know, because they did have a mass cancellation day in the past week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of shows.
Pandora wasn't on the list, and then obviously Babylon 5 wouldn't be on it because it wasn't already up and running. But it's a great sign that they wrote this article as of last night.
Right. I think it's just to keep that hope afloat more than anything, because I'm sure a lot of people on Twitter were asking Joe Straczynski, hey, what's going on? Because that's where you go to ask Joe questions. And he'll periodically go on there and have fun with people. It's great.
He's amazing. When I started watching Babylon 5, because it had been talked about with, did you talk about it with Patricia Tillman on for Virtual Trek Con 2? So then I went and binged it all. Or she came on and talked to Ryan and Strzok. They were talking about Star Trek, but also Babylon 5. So then I binged it all, and I tweeted at Joe, this is so good. I can't believe I'm just watching it now. And he freaking retweeted me. I
nice. Oh, nice.
Oh my gosh. It's amazing. And I started following him.
And you're always so eminently retweetable. So
mostly I retweet everybody else. I don't have that much OC. But
you have a lot of exclamation points in your tweets that makes us want to retweet and be excited. We're like, she's super excited about this. I should be too. What am I doing? I need to get on this.
It's true.
Oh boy. All right. Well, that's interesting. I guess that's all we know, is that Babylon 5 is still greenlit, but delayed, sadly. And everything
that is all we know.
Production. It feels like it would be wrong unless they reboot DS9, and so people could argue again about.
Larry, no.
Yeah.
No.
Maybe if we just got DS9 finally remastered in Blu-ray, that would be enough.
That would be fine.
Well, I actually saw somebody.
Everybody would want that.
They said they're bringing, I think, was it Akiva Goldsman or Alex Kurtzman did an interview in the past week, where somebody asked him specifically, maybe it was Trek Movie or Trek Core. They asked him, are there any other Voyager or Deep Space Nine cameos coming up in season 3 of Picard that we don't know about? And then it was an elusive answer. So I liked that Deep Space Nine was included in the question. Not who knows, but yeah.
How elusive?
It was just kind of we'll have to see, but it wasn't a no.
Oh, okay. So that was very vague. So they weren't even
it's very,
hinting
very
that.
vague.
Yeah. Okay. Bummer. Okay. Well, Robert Kaiser says Anne Marie's excitement and energy about so many things is just awesome.
Oh, it's not even, it's just when things deserve it. It just happens to be that so many Star Trek things deserve the excitement.
We do have a lot of Star Trek right now.
I was going to say it's infectious, but you don't say that since COVID. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Oh my gosh.
Rose Kirby says, thanks again, Star Trek and Chill, to you. All have a great weekend. Hope to speak soon. Rose Kirby signing off, sending hearts and hugs. Hey, bye, Rose. Thanks for joining in all the way out in the UK, and Robert Kaiser as well. Shiva the Destroyer says Worf needs to captain a ship finally. And Chuck A says Deep Space Nine, Punk on the space station. Oh, good one.
There we go. That's the spinoff we need.
Punk on the promenade. Yeah.
Punk on the promenade.
That's Morn.
I think he and Morn would be friends. Actually.
That's the name of my new goth band. Okay.
I want to see those two sitting at the bar next to each other. They're not talking, but they're either
going to hit it
Morn's
off
the
or
drummer.
be not like each other at all. I don't know which.
Yeah. We do have
okay, this is the YouTube
though.
video we didn't know we needed, but now we definitely do.
And Morn's got like 7 hairs, but they comb them into a mohawk.
Maybe he dyes them a really bright color so you can see them all.
His 7-haired mohawk dyed orange.
Yeah. Like this.
Yes, please. Wearing a leather jacket.
One final shout out to Orville Nation. Go check them out on Twitter and YouTube. Lots of good stuff from them. We got to start talking. After this, we got to just only talk about the Orville because that is coming up so fast.
Orville, hopefully one of the next TMVs. And then also, don't forget For All Mankind also starts that week. It's a big week.
TMV, by the way, is the main viewer, which is on Tuesdays. That's kind of more of a live news show. You know, it's like, think of it like Tuesdays, News Days, right? Or Trek Tuesday or whatever, or just the main viewer. Anyway, we're going to have to run in a second here.
It airs after Trekland Tuesday, so there's no overlap with Larry's live.
Yeah, that's good. Nobody in America can watch it live, I know. So it's for the Europeans. Hey, real quick before we go, I just want to say I'm going to be at Phoenix Comic-Con
yes, I meant to bring this.
Yeah.
I meant to bring this up.
When?
First time like in 5 years I've been back. So, yeah.
When is this?
The last weekend, Memorial Day weekend before Monday, the Memorial Day. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
And your fan club's going to be there. Bree and Marina Krofchuk.
Is Marina coming to
Two-person fan club?
Well, unfortunately, I'm not coming. But yeah,
your
Marina's
fan
coming.
Duo.
Well, two of the presidents.
Okay, that's
fan
better.
club,
Yes.
I meant to say.
Glen Colony in Phoenix. Anyway, but I'm excited because I haven't been back since I thought it was 17 or 18. It was actually 2016 when I started looking. So anyway.
Oh wow.
And Larry, where can everybody find you online besides that? Give them all your websites.
Oh, well, LarryNemechek.com will get you to everything else, including info links to all the 4 tours, from the 1-day Valley of Fire, 1 day before Vegas, to the big one in 2023, the 10-day, and everything in between. Yeah. Larry Nemechek on Twitter, and please, everybody on YouTube, like and subscribe on YouTube. It's Larry Nemechek's Trekland.
Nice. Now, everybody in the live chat, final chore, final mission. Everybody tell Shar how great it was to have her back on the show as well. And while they're doing that, Shar, can you tell them where you can be found online or anything you'd like to promote at the moment?
Well, I'm not really doing anything currently, but stay tuned because there might be things.
In the past, you were doing your time travel.
Yeah, in the past, I did To the Journey and the Zocalo and Punch It and all sorts of fun stuff. And I did Mission Log Live on Monday. I mean, I'm all over the place.
But those are all still
I'm becoming
up, right?
the Jeffrey Combs of live streams.
Of podcasting.
Hey, it would be an honor. But if you want to talk to me, go on Twitter. And my handle is the Profanity. That's the best way to find me.
Now, To the Journey is still up, right? People can still check it out. Okay, cool.
You sure can. I mean, we ended 5 years ago. I can't believe that, but the episodes are still out there.
When the Voyager doc is made and people are Googling for To the Journey, they're going to find all of those.
I know.
Totally.
I just want like 1 second in the end credits of the Voyager documentary where Tristan and I are on our webcams. We go, To the Journey, because those who know will know.
Yes.
But they
That's
haven't
my dream.
contacted us, and I understand like they got better things to do. And nevertheless, that's my secret wish,
Well,
just so you all know.
that's my secret wish too.
I wonder if we
Had
could
a
make
bug.
that happen. Maybe we'll see.
I've maybe dropped some hints about this.
Yeah.
About it being my secret wish too.
Oh my gosh, it would be amazing.
But also, Shar did this amazing web show, Babel 4-5.
Oh, that's right. Yes, I did with my
Can't leave
husband.
out. It's so cute. And you watch every Babylon 5 episode, there is an order, and talk about it for 5 minutes. It's
Yep.
really fun.
Yep.
So I
My
watched that
husband
along with my
volunteered.
regional watch. So good.
Yeah, he volunteered to watch Babylon 5, and we got his reaction in like, I don't know, 15 to 20 minute videos right after we'd watched each one. And as a non-sci-fi fan, he had some interesting ideas, interesting commentary, sometimes some really crackpot theories about what was going to happen next. That was a lot of fun.
Okay.
Especially in the earlier days where he had no idea.
The other amazing part is because it's on video, you get to see Shar's amazing t-shirt collection.
Yes, it's true.
Very amazing. At one point, I actually need to go buy this out of my Amazon.
Oh man,
my
so
Amazon
many
shopping
t-shirts.
cart. You have that.
I don't
Lisa
have some
Frank.
of those t-shirts now.
Well, you have that Lisa Frank, Jakar, and Londo.
Yes.
It's very.
Oh, that
like,
was a great
90s
shirt.
Lisa Frank
Londo Calrissian?
No, my Londo. But they have it on notebooks, so I need to get it. Like I'm going back to school.
Yeah, I think that's like TeePublic or something like that, if it's still out there. And sad to say, that t-shirt wore out and the paint is no longer on it.
Oh,
It's a workout shirt now.
Game is strong.
Nothing's sadder than a t-shirt past its prime.
Real quick, David Gregory says, find Larry on all the good spots. Trekland Tuesdays, Portal 47, etc. Now, Shar, here it comes. Chuck A
What?
says, great, thanks, Shar. War Dogheim says, Shar is always awesome, capital letters.
Aw.
Scott Jensen said something in response to something else. I don't know what's going on there. Freaking fantastically fun, says Kimber Spores. Brad Omag says, thanks for coming. Shar Orville Nation just goes, woohoo. So who knows? David Gregory says, as always, so good seeing you, Shar. Peter H says, another great job, Shar. Come back again soon. Wayner says, thanks, Shar. Chuck A says, thanks, Ryan, Anne-Marie, Larry, and Shar. Scott Jensen tops them all saying, Shar, you're even cooler than Ram Man's outfit. Ugh.
Wow.
And that's how you complete an episode.
There we go. Dr.
Wow,
Anne-Marie Siegel,
thank you so much. I'm feeling so freaking loved right now. Oh my God, the fuzz.
I mean, this is a way to start a weekend.
Right?
Anne-Marie, where can they find you should you choose to be found?
Twitter at Anne-Marie Siegel 1.
All right.
Retweeting
And
all the
everybody
exclamation
at home,
points.
y'all can find me right here, Virtual TrekCon or Falling Tower or The Seventh Rule on any social media. Check those out. Tell your friends, like them, subscribe to them. And Larry's got some really cool adventures for you next year. So definitely go check those out. Highly recommend. I've seen him in action. It's the real deal. It's awesome.
Well, it was very weird on the first dinner night. After, I think I've done a few things over the years also, but I had some new people, which was awesome. Meeting new people who didn't know me or anything. It was great. But one of them leaned over and they went, "Oh, you're the tour guy." I was like, "Okay, yeah, I'll be the tour guy. That's okay."
You're the doctor guy.
Cute. And there are some very cute pictures of you and Janet, which I was fangirling over. I was like, "Oh my God."
Yes, very cute.
Yeah.
Janet has been watching the last 30 years of Star Trek ever since she left Voyager, and it's been interesting. And Strange New World is her favorite thing of the last.
Hey, cool.
I've been wondering what she'd say is her favorite. Amazing.
I was wondering too. So that's about it, everybody. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you so much, Larry Nemechek, for jumping in. And Shar, always great to see you as well. Dr. Anne-Marie, thanks for smiling and giggling and adding exclamation points verbally to our show. And everybody at home, thank you for joining us. We will see you next time. Hey, it's NBA basketball. It's on right now. Go check it out. Mavs and Warriors.
Time.
Oh, that's right.
Donnie left early to watch the game, and he said, "Go Mavs," and I put me in a bad mood for like 20 minutes.
Oh, that's why you didn't mention his comment or say goodbye.
And then I checked, and the Warriors are getting their butts kicked, but it's okay. We'll be fine. Anyway, and by we, I mean they. I'm not one of those weirdos. We'll see y'all again real soon.
Sure.
Thank you very much. And until then, we need what's a good sign off thing for Star
You
Trek
said
and Chill?
Star Trek and Chill, baby. I
That's
like
not
that
really
one.
until
Star
then,
Trek and Chill, Bobcat.
Star Trek and Chill. See, that doesn't. Anyway, bye.
You got to
We'll
add
work on
that,
it.
baby.
Trek well, everybody. I'll say
Oh
mine.
yeah. Yeah. Perfect.
Quick, well, and chill, baby.